What's up YouTube, Capital G here, Battles of Legend, Relentless Revenge. We got a bunch of cards to talk about from this set that have been revealed from Konami. Let's go ahead and break it down. Obviously, a lot of people are looking forward to this set, but can we just say that information for Relentless Revenge has been incredibly scarce? Konami really hasn't been putting anything out there. They really haven't been talking about this set, which is kind of weird considering it comes out in less than 2 weeks. A lot of people are like, yo, what is in the set, Cap? We don't really know. How can we get hyped if we don't know what the big reprints are going to be, what the upgrades, etc., etc.? Looks like Konami has gone ahead and addressed that with this article. They've given us information on about 15 or so cards. So far, it's actually looking really good because they didn't just go out and give us reprints of cards that we obviously needed, but they've given us like additional rarities to cards that already are in holographic form and have been reprinted. Like Brilliant Fusion is a card, obviously you can get it in super rare. It's been reprinted out of Clash in super rare in the megatons, and then they have like the ultimate rare. But I mean, the ultimate rare Brilliant Fusion is pretty expensive and most players can't afford like $45 for a card that you're probably going to run 3 of. So I think that this is a good happy medium. So let's go ahead and break down some of the cards and talk about some of the chase stuff from this set. So first off, we have the secret rare copy of Gamecill, the Sea Turtle Kaiju. I think this is excellent. Speaking from somebody who has 3 super rare Gamecills, this is a really nice reprint because Gamecill is probably the most desired kaiju, and super rare Gamecill is nice, but let's be real, secret rare is even better. And I think it's like a nice happy medium because people who have their super rares can still have holographic Gamecills, while people who maybe don't have the rare playsets or people who have rares looking at this like, yeah, this is the definitive upgrade. We've got a reprint of Tornado Dragon in that same exact rarity. I think Tornado Dragon has always been a really good secret rare. It's kind of like maybe the card that you can say has taken the torch from Castel. You guys remember throughout pretty much the entire Arc V era, Castel was kind of like that generic rank 4 that was always played in decks. Castel not so much anymore. A lot of people consider Tornado Dragon to be that 100% bona fide staple, the rank 4 that you're going to play in anything that can make it. So I think everybody kind of needs access to Tornado Dragon. Solemn Strike has been reprinted before. Now we're getting an ultra rare copy. Let me think. So I've got secret rare Solemn Strikes, but I've always preferred ultra rare over secret rare just because I like that rarity more. So I might go ahead and trade my secret rares in for some ultras. Solemn Strike is one of those cards where I feel like anybody who wants to play competitive, as long as this card is at 3, you should kind of always have Solemn Strikes available because you never know when the meta is going to go defensive. If Konami ends up bringing things like Solemn Judgment or Solemn Warning up on the ban list as they've done in the OCG, where I believe is it Solemn Warning that I believe is at 2. So you could have a potential for a bigger Solemn package, and as the Solemn package gets bigger, obviously Solemn Strike gets much more playable. We have a whole bunch of Noble Knights, an entire row of Noble Knight. You Noble Knight players get hyped. I know you guys have Isolde, which seems to help every other warrior deck more than Noble Knight itself, but a lot of those Noble Knight cards, they were printed during the Zexal era. I know like Midrat was super expensive back in the day because it was only a secret rare. Then they had the Noble Knight box set, and I'm not gonna lie, I think the Noble Knights came out in platinum rare, the gold platinum rare. I think that is the most hideous Yu-Gi-Oh rarity we've ever gotten in the history of this game. It is so diabolically terrible, and I'm glad that some of these cards are not just going to be, I think Merlin only available in that terrible platinum rare. I know there were a couple of Noble Knight cards that were like only available in that platinum rare, or that was their only holographic form, but either way, I think that Noble Knight reprints are pretty good. I wouldn't be surprised if Konami gave us a second Noble Knight link, simply because Isolde's play and everything from Element Sabers to Six Samurai to Heroes to Goki, and it seems like it's better in those decks than it is in its own deck. So maybe Konami will double down and give another Noble Knight link monster that is really exclusively for Noble Knights. Isolde is just too good, to be honest. It's good for like every warrior deck. We have some more reprints. Brilliant Fusion Secret Rare. This one is pretty big. As somebody who is a really big fan of Gem Knights, I've got Master Diamonds, I've got Lady Brilliant Diamonds, I have Absorb Fusions. This is one of the only cards that I don't actually have because Brilliant Fusion, sometimes it's been like damn near $20 just for super rares. I was not even considering spending the money on the ultimate rare of Brilliant Fusion, but I feel like this secret rare is probably the one to go for. Brilliant Fusion is obviously a gorgeous card on just the artwork is really good, and especially if you like, or if you watch Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc V, it's even better in the show when Masame ends up using it. TG Wonder Magician, this one is kind of random. I mean, most of this play is associated with Crystron Needle Fiber, which we don't have, so maybe if Konami is going to give us Needle Fiber, this makes a whole lot more sense. Maybe you could even see like a Formula Synchron reprint as well. But TG Wonder Magician, pretty hard to actually summon if you're not playing Needle Fiber, so without Needle Fiber, I think that this one doesn't quite fit. We have Elemental Hero Honesty Neos, or excuse me, just Honest Neos. I think Honesty Neos is the OCG name. This is a fantastic card. I feel like this card has made Heroes so much better because it's just easier to protect your Dark Law when you summon your Shadow Mist by, I don't know, like Goblinberg, or a hero lives and you activate its effect, and during your opponent's turn, it used to always be you'd get the Dark Law, but you wouldn't have any way of protecting it other than your back row. Now you can search the Honest Neos, your opponent tries to run over Dark Law, which is like one of the most common ways to kill it, and then you just drop Honest Neos and your opponent's just like, well, fuck, you got Dark Law on board and I just lost my my big monster, it's banished now. Honest Neos as a secret rare, definitely something that's kind of cool. I think Honest Neos probably would have looked better as an ultra rare just because it's a light card. There's a whole lot of yellow in the art. I think having the gold text would have maybe looked a little bit better, but I'm not going to complain about that. We got some Phantom Knight reprints as well. This makes sense because Konami has already revealed in the TCG we're going to be getting a new Phantom Knight Link monster. Phantom Knights of Fogblade has been a card that has been somewhat difficult to get. It was an ultra rare in Wing Raiders, if I'm not mistaken. A lot of these cards, Silent Boots, Ancient Cloak, they all came out in Wing Raiders. I want to say that Ancient Cloak was also an ultra rare in Wing Raiders, and at one point these two cards were kind of expensive. I don't think that Silent Boots was ever really that expensive, but I think that the Phantom Knights is really just kind of to set us up for the Phantom Knight Link monster that they're going to give us very soon in the TCG. They're just kind of making sure that everybody has access to those. What else do we have in here? Oh, this is big. This might be the biggest one in the entire set so far. Trickstar Reincarnation. Anybody out there thinking Trickstars are gonna get hit by the ban list? Konami's like, wait a minute, maybe not so much. Trickstar Reincarnation, obviously the most expensive card in the Trickstar deck, or actually maybe it's Ash Blossom, but it's the most expensive card in the Trickstar archetype, shall we say. Now a lot more people are going to be able to get this, and it's in its original rarity of secret rare as well. Trickstar Reincarnation, one of the strongest cards in the entire Trickstar deck. This one I think was so needed. Dark Lord Ishel, I believe that she was so she came on what, Destiny Soldiers, and I believe that she was a short print, and that's the reason why she was always so expensive. This card ranged anywhere from like $22 to I think $40 at her max, and obviously she's a 3 of in Dark Lord. She's probably the best card because her on-field effect is pretty good, as is the other Dark Lords, where she can activate the cards from the graveyard, but mainly because she was that Destiny draw. She, you know, kind of unclocked your hand and got you the other cards, and she was just an excellent card. But the fact that she was a short print and she had not been reprinted outside of Destiny Soldiers was pretty bad. We also have Dragonic Diagram. This is a much needed reprint. True Draco are still very much a part of the meta, still a very relevant deck. I think that this makes the most sense because it's probably the most expensive card in True Draco. I don't know what Masterpiece is right now, but it's banned, so its price can't really be that expensive. Plus, it wouldn't be relevant to reprint Masterpiece. And even stuff like Dynamite and Ignis, they're ultra rares, but they don't really cost anything. So far, the reprints are pretty good. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. We have a whole nother row to talk about. We got Eater of Millions, Cyframe Driver. Remember when somebody bought out Cyframe Driver? These are all ultra rares, by the way. And Unizombie. All right, people have been asking for the Unizombie, for the Unizombie rarity upgrade for a very long time. I think Konami finally listened and is doing this justice. I thought that there was a chance that Unizombie could end up being an OTS ultimate rare, because Unizombie has always been a strong card because it is kind of like that one card Omega. You know, you drop your Mizuki into the graveyard, you can kind of do your stuff with that. Cyframe Driver makes sense because they did just reprint Gamma recently and like the special editions. What was that special edition? Was that for Extreme Force or was that for Circuit? I think it might have been Extreme Force. Then we got Eater of Millions. This is, in my opinion, Konami kind of saying, yeah, Eater of Millions should not have been a rare in Raging Tempest. You just look at Raging Tempest, and that set was just, it was so much good shit in that set. I kind of feel like Konami's back was against the wall because they had Zodiac, they had that Grass Looks Greener, they had all the Wind Witch imports. If you really look at Eater of Millions and how good the card actually was, it probably should have been, maybe not a secret, but I think its original rarity probably should have been an ultra rare. And when you look at it in hindsight, you know, after the Zodiac format, where wasn't really that good because your opponent would just dry in it, but if you look at it after Zodiac got hit and it's such a strong card that can kill basically anything with its effect, you're like, yeah, this card shouldn't have been a rare. But what do you guys think of Battle of Legend Relentless Revenge? It's looking pretty good right now, and obviously we're going to have a lot more stuff be reprinted. I do find it a little curious that Konami did wait this long to give us information about it, but so far, like, I mean, I don't know how many people are actually going to want maybe the Noble Knight stuff. I think depending on how good the Phantom Knight Link monster is, you could actually see a lot of people go towards this, but there are some just home runs in here. I mean, this entire top row is excellent. I think Brilliant Fusion will be a very big selling point if Needle Fiber comes out in the future. Like, if we get Needle Fiber before the end of the year, then the Wonder Magician reprint looks a lot better. And then the bottom row, like, these are just really good cards that people use in the meta, you know what I mean? Anybody who's using Cyframe Gear Gamma is going to use a copy of Cyframe Driver. Eater of Millions, still a really good card coming out of the side deck. If you're running any of those 60 card like zombie decks, then obviously Unizombie is a card you're running 3 of. And the big one, Trickstar Reincarnation. It's currently the best deck in the format. People play 2 to 3 copies of it, and Trickstar Reincarnation is like a $45 card, but now a lot more people have access to it. So whatever you guys think, leave it in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already. Turn on that notification bell for daily videos.